Several individuals under the group Save the Philippines Coalition filed a technical malversation, graft, and plunder charges against Executive Secretary Recto and former Philippine Health Insurance Corporation President Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. The cases are in connection with the transfer of 60 billion pesos in excess reserve funds to the National Treasury. The 15-page complaint filed before the Office of the Ombudsman on Monday, December 22, seeks Recto and Ledesma's dismissal from service for allegedly committing technical malversation under Article 220 of the Revised Penal Code and for reportedly violating Republic Act No. 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and RA 7080 or the Anti-Plunder Law, as well as for alleged grave misconduct under RA 6713. The complainants were identified as Irene Caballes, Elmer Hugalbot, Jerlyn Ogong, Emerita Pecson, Susan Villar, Mussolini Lidasan, Jose Olivar, and Jaime Miralles. The complainants are asserting that both Recto and Ledesma intentionally transgressed some provisions of statutes for political patronage. They cited former Finance Secretary Recto for including the PhilHealth reserve funds in the government-owned or controlled corporations' excess funds despite several prohibitions in the law. On the other hand, Ledesma was allegedly accountable when he supposedly permitted the unlawful directive of Recto, making them both guilty of technical malversation. In response to the allegations against him, Recto says he respects every citizen's right to seek redress before the courts. He adds that he will fully cooperate with the Office of the Ombudsman during the conduct of preliminary investigation. Recto reiterates his innocence, saying that in his 30 years in government, this is the first case of its kind that he was confronted. He further says he will not get distracted by political noise, and the work of improving government performance and services is his priority. Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla says the driver of late Public Works Undersecretary Catalina Cabral appears to be in the clear for now, while her husband's reaction supposedly raises a lot of red flags following her death. Cabral was found lifeless in a deep ravine in Benguet on Thursday, December 18. Based on initial investigation, Cabral died after her fall in what authorities deemed to be a suicide as pointed by all existing evidence. In an interview with ANC on Monday, December 22, Remulla says Cabral's driver Ricardo Hernandez has been extensively interviewed. He adds that Hernandez's cell phone is now being analyzed by authorities. Remulla further says that Hernandez seems to be cleared of involvement in the case for now. Remulla also explains the viral selfie photo of Hernandez and Cabral, who is seen sitting on the concrete barrier behind him and her parked car, looking down at the bottom of the ravine. According to Remulla, the driver took the selfie to show off Cabral, who just told him some good news. Remulla says that as Cabral and Hernandez traveled going to Baguio, Cabral promised her driver to help him build a house. Meanwhile, Remulla notes that the behavior of the late Undersecretary's husband, Cesar Cabral, appeared unusual, noting that he did not appear to be grief-stricken. Remulla explains that Cesar Cabral was very straightforward and was not crying, which raised suspicions. According to news reports, Cesar also refused to have her wife's remains undergo an autopsy, believing that her death was an accident. Remulla also discloses that the relationship of the two has been strained for a long time, but they have never separated. Despite her husband's objections, Cabral's body underwent an autopsy. According to Remulla, the autopsy indicated results consistent with blunt trauma force as a result of the fall, and no skin cells were found in Cabral's fingernails. The Supreme Court affirms the conviction of 3 police officers involved in the killing of 17-year-old Kian de los Santos during a drug bust operation in Caloocan City in 2017. In a 40-page decision, the High Court's Second Division denies the appeals of Arnel Oares, Jeremiah Pereda, and Jerwin Cruz, affirming their conviction for murder. The 3 were sentenced to reclusión perpetua or up to 40 years of imprisonment. They were also ordered to pay de los Santos' family 275,000 pesos in damages. In the ruling penned by Associate Justice Joseph Lopez, the Supreme Court affirms the lower court's findings that treachery attended the killing. The High Court cites the testimony of the medical legal officer who said de los Santos was likely in a sitting or kneeling position when he was shot. Based on the High Court's decision, De Los Santos was not in a position to defend himself when he was shot to death on August 16, 2017. The court notes that the prosecution evidence showed a chain of events that led to Kian being particularly put in a location and in a position by the accused, allowing them to shoot Kian with impunity and ensuring the execution of the crime. The High Court also notes witnesses saw the police officers stop and frisk De Los Santos and dragged him toward a dark area near a river where he was shot multiple times. In their defense, the police officers claimed they were responding to reports of illegal drug activity in the area and alleged that shots were fired at them, prompting Juarez to chase the supposed shooter and return fire. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority has suspended its expanded number coding scheme during the Christmas and New Year holidays. In an advisory on Monday, December 22, the MMDA says the number coding scheme in Metro Manila will be suspended on December 24, 25, 30, 31, and on January 1, 2026. The MMDA likewise notes that the number coding scheme will also be lifted on December 29 and January 2, 2026. This is in accordance with Malacanang's order suspending all government work on those days to give employees enough time to celebrate the new year. The MMDA advises motorists to plan their trip, obey traffic laws, and drive safely during the holiday season.